Trish Stratus is out, as we said, all in black in her heel attire. And she gets on the mic and she says, when she first came here, women's wrestling was a joke, and I single-handedly changed it all. It wasn't me and Lita. There was no we. It was me. And there was no women's division without me. I was the first woman to headline Raw and the first woman you cared about. There would be no women's revolution or women headlining WrestleMania without Trish Stratus. You should have been chanting, "Thank you, Trish," when they headlined WrestleMania. Becky would make you think that all of this began with the Four Horse Ladies, their alternate name, the Horse Ladies. Mm-hmm. They would think they started all this. Well, Becky Lynch is a joke, and I let it slide before questioning if Becky actually believed her own hype. So I came here to see for myself. Becky never once thanked me, even convinced Lita to join her after calling her out last year. And then Lita became Becky's sidekick. Trish is no one's sidekick, and she had to take out Lita to make it clear who screwed Becky out of the tag title. So we do get the finality to the Phantom Attack last week, that it was in fact Trish, and Lita, like her best friend jumps her, and she had no knowledge of it as well.
Come on, if you
jumped me from behind, I'd at least have a glimpse. I would know it was you. I'd be like, "Way, really? This is unbelievable!" And you're going to defend my tag title, and I'm not even going to be able to get to Becky to let her know.
I feel like would I be your top suspect right away?
You're right. But like just the physics of it all. Like, what'd you do? Hit me with a pipe from behind? She was holding her leg,
probably.
Right?
I don't.
Wasn't it her leg she was holding?
I don't recall the body part where that
she wasn't out cold. That's the point. Okay.
Well, maybe she was wearing a hood, ski mask. You know, we don't know how. Black trench coat, probably. That's what that was it.
I think Trish is pretty identifiable backstage.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
She is not going to let Becky rewrite history. I am not a nostalgia act. I'm not a childhood fantasy or a sidekick. I'm the greatest of all time and the single most important figure in the history of WWE. Bruno, Austin, no, Trish Stratus, and none of you will forget it. I thought she did a really great job with this promo.
When she started, I definitely sensed a little bit of nerves, at least to me. I mean, we remember, like, this is what her first real heel promo in how long, John? Like when was the last time she played heel?
Yeah, 2005. You're probably going back to.
So what was that for? Was that the Jericho Christian stuff? Like,
yeah, that was 04. It carried over into 05. She was still doing that heel character. Yeah, so you're talking like 18 years.
Like it's almost like 20 years since this woman played a heel in a professional wrestling setting, and I could understand if there was maybe a bit of like nervousness. Like early portion of this promo felt to me like she was reciting like a memorized script, but throughout the promo. Oh yeah, I'm sure. But throughout the promo, I thought she really started sounding natural and believable, especially towards the end when she got into her closing lines about not being a nostalgia act, not your childhood fantasy. She's the greatest of all time. I thought she delivered those lines as if she truly meant it, and I like the story. I think the logic is really sound.
She hit like the mission statement of the character, which is often sometimes missing. Go to your Brock Lesnar or Cody Rhodes argument. Like she clearly,
or the outcasts.
Exactly. Like she made it very clear. Like there's no mystery. What happened to Lita? You know why it happened. Why did she team with Becky when she had attacked Lita? Like all of it made sense. And I thought she was pretty poised here in this interview. You even had the what chance that she just powered through, and you notice they quickly died. She didn't acknowledge them. She didn't stop because so many, they're trained to just, if it's noticeable, you play off of it, and it's so awkward sometimes. She just kept going, and they stopped, and it was a non-issue in it. I thought it was a good promo.
I like the idea that here's somebody from, prior to the Four Horsewomen women's revolution era coming in and resenting them and wanting to, resenting them for basically wiping her out of memory, except like Trish is not really fighting for it like the Mickie James and also like the Lita. She feels like she was the only person who really mattered, and she resents them for wiping her out of memory, which I think is a solid story. I do maybe only question like why she carried on with the match for as long as she did last week. Knowing that she attacked Lita and her goal was to lose the championships by the end. Why wrestle for like 10, 15 minutes? Why not just, attack Becky and have a double team from Damage or Liv and Raquel right away?
Well, there is that aspect to it that like she lost the fall as well.
Well, she could have just taken the fall right away. Why?
Yeah,
why get hurt?
Well, that's it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, anyway, maybe she had to really make it convincing so that she could turn. Because what I thought she said, what I thought she was going to explain was that she made up her mind at the end of the match. She made up her mind about the turn at the end of the match. But if she had attacked Lita prior, then obviously she had made up her mind before.
Well, that was the part, right, that maybe there's an inconsistency, because she did explain it was when Becky gave her like this pep talk after the loss that was where she like just felt it like was demeaning to her. So
then what? She was going to attack Lita and then just kind of let that simmer and not mention it if they won the championships?
Keep going, like ride this out for a little bit, and then capitalize when Becky is least expecting it, while Lita is rehabbing the injury.
Okay, all right.
When do you see them pulling the trigger on this Becky match? Do you see it being a long-term play?
It could.
I don't see them doing that so quick. Like Backlash, I don't think that's happening. I think this is more down the road.
I was thinking maybe Saudi, but like now that they're calling it Night of Champions, I mean, neither of them have a championship, so maybe that's something you could delay. Yes, SummerSlam feels like way too long.
That's 4 months.
Yeah, that feels too long. I mean, they could work a long-term program that culminates there, but probably a bit long for it. So,
like, what do you do with the two of them in between then?
Yeah. What's after
like unless Lita comes back and Trish does do a match with Lita in the lead up to that, you could do that.
Trish versus Lita right now, I don't know if they could.
Well, I don't think so, but you listen to this promo and that is certainly a door they've left open. And who is Becky to wrestle in it? SummerSlam feels really long.
So what's after Night of Champions? Do they have
Money in the Bank? And that's July.
Right.
So
could be Night of Champions. Could be Backlash. I don't know. I'm not sure.